Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Cosmo Muse and your June 2024 readings. This is coming out a little later than I usually like to get the month readings out, but it's been, a few months of just a lot going on and not being able to get caught up on everything, so it comes out when it comes out. I think this will probably be published on June 2nd. I think I'm going to publish this on a Sunday instead of my usual Monday reading, just to get this to you a little bit earlier. But we'll probably be a day into the month already. That said, let's get into it though. We're going to pick our 4 piles from the Wild Unknown Animal kind of wisdom deck. See, that one wants to come out. So we've got Scorpion, Owl, ooh, Lion, and Swan. Beautiful. These are all really beautiful animals. Okay, before I get into having you choose your pile, I'm going to talk about some astrology of June first, and then we will kind of go through these different animal archetypes to choose from, on top of just having a little bit of wisdom about what's generally coming in the month astrologically. If you want, I'm going to keep it a little bit brief because I do put out an astrology newsletter that will go into detail on all of these things, which if you want to sign up to be getting my astrology newsletters, there is a link in the description. But just to kind of briefly go over the main things going on. So when we enter June, we are in the astrological season of Gemini. It is the last sign of our kind of spring quadrant in terms of the astrological map of things. And speaking, Northern Hemisphere here. And so anytime you're coming to the end of a quadrant in the circle of astrology, in the Zodiac, we come into what's called a mutable energy. And so that's Gemini is under the mutable energy. It really that mutable energy likes to tie things up. It's about finishing things. Gemini is also an air sign and a spring sign. So on top of that, there's a lot of mental energy. And so there can be a lot of anxiety that goes on with Gemini season with that mutable air youthful energy. It is, in my opinion, the sign of the teenager. So do with that what you will, but there tends to be a lot of expression and moodiness and, sometimes even like a little bit of the know-it-allness of the teenager or the arrogance of the teenager. But in general, like just trying to find where you fit in, trying to find those harmonies in terms of community and harmonies in terms of what you feel you identify with. But it is in general just like a season of a lot of connection and movement and creating possibility. It's not a time to like heavily commit to things because you're trying out possibility, you're trying on identities, you're trying on, where you fit into things. So it is a season about creating possibility and leaving that possibility a little bit open to try things on, try things out. The ruler of Gemini season, Mercury, we always want to know what the planet that rules a sign or season is doing, also jumps into Gemini really early in this month on June 3rd. So that just kind of amplifies it. Just a lot of movement, a lot of ideas, a lot of connection, a lot of possibilities being created. We then jump on June 20th, which is summer solstice. We jump into Cancer season. So a new season This is the first season moving us into the astrological quadrant of summer, which is about maturing things. Spring, we put a lot of sort of like the labor and the hard work and the efforting in. And then summer, we can kind of sit back and allow things to grow. Trust that we've planted things and cultivated things well, and now we kind of like trust things to grow. We start to step back a little bit and enjoy life, a little more leisure, a little bit more paying attention to who you are based on who's in your life and where you came from and who you sort of need in life and how you're needed. So you're kind of paying attention to a little bit more maturing things, deepening things, really focusing on foundation and depth and soul and maturity. And this is a season ruled by the moon, which brings a lot of mood to things, a lot of ebbs and flows of moods, you know, happy and excited one minute, a little bit down and sad the next, a little bit inexplicable in terms of those moods sometimes. And the ruler, you know, being the moon of Cancer season, changes signs every 2.5 days. So there's not like a real great map of like what the planetary ruler of this season can stabilize us in, because its function is to touch into every sign during a season and to kind of make sure it understands. It's a very empathetic thing that the moon brings us, understands what each energy is going through, how we can reflect things about that and bring some empathy to that. So a lot of like really noticing others, what's on their plate, what's in their heart, and helping to do some mirroring and really deepening into life with nourishment, both self-nourishment and nourishment of the people you're closest to. That, you know, if the people close to you are nourished and deep and soulful and cared for, it strengthens your position too. So just taking care of both sides of nourishing yourself and nourishing your really close others. And yeah, so on top of that, we also have the Gemini new moon during Gemini season, which will be, I think it's June 6th. So that tends to bring the pressure point of a season, and we start to detach during a new moon week. So starting June 6th, a little bit of pressure coming on, a little bit of starting to detach, to make new intentions while we hold the summit of last year's lunar intentions around Gemini energy. So simultaneously at a new moon, holding the pressure of Gemini, or whatever season it is, this season is Gemini, of what's summited over the year in that energy. And that being the thing that helps you to wish for something new, to wish for and make plans for what this next round of your Gemini season seeds, what those are going to be about over the next year. So you're kind of simultaneously holding both. So it does bring a week of like needing to hold some pressure, but also detach a little. June 21st, once we step into that Cancer season, we have a Capricorn full moon. So that's the opposite energy. A full moon is always the opposite energy of a season. And so that Capricorn full moon on the 21st is one to pay attention to how you are nourishing and deepening and finding a more soulful alignment with position in the outer world, career, authority, mastery, recognition and aspiration. So this is opposite to Cancer, which is about home and depth and foundations and family. So a lot of kind of a push-pull and a little bit of a tug-of-war around, and like pretty quick into stepping into summer solstice and Cancer season. That full moon comes, and so there's a little tension there around, you know, how much do I give to deepening into life and softening into life, and how much do I hold and give attention to, you know, the outer world, my aspirations. And full moon is about nurturing things. It is a little bit more private. So even though the focus is on outer world things, it's like, how are you internally aligning here, and how are you nurturing these things in a very tender way? Okay, so quick overview. I guess not so quick, we're at 10 minutes, but a little bit of an overview of June in general with some astrology. That said, let's now get into some personal reading around the energy for you guys, what's going to come up for June for you in your personal lives. Pile 1, we've got the Scorpion and Sunstone. Pile 2, we have the Owl and Green Calcite. Pile 3, we have the Lion and Clear Crystal Quartz. And pile 4, we have the Swan and Citrine. So don't try to have any judgments about any of these animals going in. There's all sorts of other cards that will come out and influence. So just really pay attention to what maybe colors or the number of the pile, or just something about the image drawing you in, or the stone drawing you in. Try not to come from a place of like mentally deciding what you like best and feeling into like what's drawing you in to get your best read on things. Okay, if you need some extra time, pause here, and when you're ready, there are timestamps in the description so you can jump straight to your June reading. All right, see you guys in those piles. Hello, pile 1, my Scorpion June pile. You guys also have the Sunstone in tandem with the Scorpion, which in my opinion really kind of lightens up the tone of the Scorpion here. So the Scorpion is indicating that there is an intense focus on something. The Scorpion can be very single-minded, very passionate, and very capable. It kind of has a fixed objective, a fixed mind, and the passion and energy to kind of really go towards, like limit all the periphery stuff and really fixate and go towards that thing that the passion is centered on. But the Sunstone here is lightening up this thing up a little bit. It's sort of like, whatever this is, it kind of, because another read with the Scorpion could be sort of like some toxic things inside that you're harboring, needing to be cleared out, needing to confront some things and clear out some toxic energy. But that Sunstone to me kind of dissolves that element of it. That's what I'm feeling, where it's like whatever you're focused and fixed on and passionate about, I think is going to feel light and fun. Like you'll be so focused and fixed and engaged in like a fun, like your heart is in it. And so naturally as you go, if there's things you need to clear up, it's just there's a certain lightness around things that it's easy to do that as you go. If there are any kind of, moments of like feeling like you might start to resent something or harbor an emotion or whatever it is, it's like there's a certain lightness where it will be easy to kind of clear that, to confront it and clear it as you go, instead of kind of keeping certain things in. So overall, just like something coming through about a real fixed objective, a lightness of spirit with it, and a certain sense of fun and ease of moving through whatever you need to move through to kind of stay fixed on your target. Okay, let's get a few more oracle cards to kind of get this fleshed out a little more. We're kind of looking for a story of your month. So what else wants to come out? We've got the Father, which that can be an energy that brings some responsibility onto your shoulders. It can bring a certain desire or sense of duty to establish yourself in the outer world in order to strengthen your private life as well. which that does really pick up on the Capricorn energy towards, the Capricorn full moon coming towards the end of the month on the 21st, does make me feel like there may be, like your pivotal point in this month may come around that time. There may be this general sense of these energies through June, but around June 21st, something like more pivotal around this, like the summit of things kind of coming out here. But these two cards working together do feel like there are some outer world things, there are maybe some career objectives, or just responsibilities in the outer world domain. Even if it's not career, there can still be other types of responsibilities, school or service things, whatever it is that that has you like, but at the same time, like really focused and really feeling strong and capable, and having very clear, specific objectives, and those objectives underneath it all having some agenda of like strengthening your overall life, really finding a way to use your responsibility in the world to nourish the foundations of your life. Okay, so, or you could find yourself just feeling more responsible, like a little bit more weight on your shoulders to create some security in life. But again, I do want to pull in and remind that Sunstone does feel light. There is, on the Father card, there is kind of like a lighter, more ethereal side, and then this kind of black and white side. So things may vacillate in terms of how you feel the pressure or responsibilities, like sometimes that flowing and feeling good, and sometimes that feeling a little burdensome. And so that could sort of ebb and flow through the month of like how it feels to you to have a little bit more focus and responsibility on your plate. Sometimes that being enjoyable, and sometimes that being, like, oh, I kind of want to go out and play, but I've got to focus. I have these responsibilities. Yeah, and that makes sense because Gemini season, Cancer season that make up the whole of June are both a little bit in that realm of a little bit like distractible and, like sometimes wanting to be somewhere other than where they are, and sometimes really in the moment and engaged in things. So kind of picking up on that energy of like sometimes really in it and sometimes daydreaming about something else. But definitely something is keeping your mind focused. There is some kind of responsibility on your plate in June. Okay, let's get a goddess card. Oops, I dropped my astrology dice. I'll get those in a second. Okay, so a goddess card, what goddess wants to show up and be sort of a guide for you this month, and what might that also indicate about some of the energies around you? So we've got butterfly, maiden with transformation. You are experiencing enormous change right now, which brings great blessings. So maybe some of the heat and focus of the Scorpion and some of the pressure from the Father are things you're needing to go through in order to step into your power, in order to blossom in life. Sometimes we do have to, go through things that are character building to even reach certain qualities we have and be able to pull them out and let them blossom. And that's what this feels like. And that really does help pull in the lightness of the Sunstone, is that, some of these pressures or responsibilities that seem to be a focal thing in June are helping you to see something about yourself. Pull out an aspect of yourself that you've maybe not really plugged into in a way that, or maybe even just haven't had an opportunity to plug into in a way that you knew was deep within you. And that maybe is why you have some passion in this and like a willingness to kind of hold some pressure, as it's like, oh, I'm finally having that opportunity to show what I'm made of and to bring these things out of me that I know are in there, but I never had that opening to access them and use them. And that feels like something happening this month. And I think that feels good. That brings a positive vibe to all of this. Like, finally I get to use this. Yes, it's pressure. Yes, it's responsibility. Yes, it's bringing focus. But I am so ready to show these things within me that are amazing, and just haven't had, the opening or platform or whatever it is to showcase what I can do. Capabilities I know I have, and you're really being able to show new colors of who you are in a bigger way this month, which is super cool. Okay, and then a moon card. Third quarter moon adjustments are required. Yes, this is all about sort of the mood of the month being one where you need to find a lot of cooperation and compromise. There may be things you're, in terms of whatever this focus and pressure are around, or responsibilities are involved, like working well with others, being open to cooperating and letting go of, full control of certain things in your life in order to work well with others, in order to harmonize and empower things that are bigger than you and bigger than the other, shared goals type of thing, like being able to find the right way to work with others and the right negotiations of what is important that you don't compromise and what can you compromise on, and finding those middle grounds, finding the ways to find solutions that create win-win scenarios when you're working with others, and needing to really find, movement through cooperation, flourishing through cooperation. So definitely something about working with others here, but I think you're even with that new insight, I think you're going to even surprise yourself at how elegant and eloquent you can be in doing so. Yeah, really cool. Okay, I want to get some astrology dice to see which two main categories or areas of your life this is really plugging into. I do, no matter what the dice say, I do feel an element of career here. So like 10th house, I'm just going to put that out there. Even if the dice don't show 10th house, I do feel a 10th house career, reputation, mastery kind of thing coming up here. First house and 11th house on top of that. So really in the first house, to me, really showing, like picking up on what I've talked about, like really starting to see new sides of yourself, really allowing new sides of your personality, your passions, your skill sets that are inherent. The first house is indicating these are inherent in you. These are things you were born with but maybe haven't been able to like really unleash for some reason. And you're really finding that ability to be courageous and bold and assertive and confident in unleashing these sides of who you are, of some innate things about you. And then 11th house is picking up on that, sense of collaboration coming through here, working with groups, collaborating, being able to find ways to work with others really well here. Very cool. This is kind of exciting and big, it feels like. Okay, so we're also going to do some tarot and a couple more oracle cards after the tarot to kind of build out a little more story here around your June. Okay. Ooh. In this one, so we got Queen of Pentacles. Yes, you are stepping into your power. I love this. Getting everything you want. Sometimes the Queen of Pentacles can be sort of like knowing your worth, and because we've talked about this theme of like knowing what you're willing to compromise and knowing also what you're not willing to compromise. And this is showing up as like really understanding what you're not willing to compromise in getting those things going your way. But in a nourishing way, in a way that's very thoughtful and nurturing, but just really knowing, standing your ground, knowing your confidence of like, this is just not something that's negotiable for me for these reasons. But if you're willing to let me show you what I mean by that, this will benefit everybody. So just like having your confidence to be able to speak up at certain times when you know that you're seeing things that are a win-win. We talked about the win-win, but like needing to stand in your confidence in saying like, hey, look, this thing I'm not willing to compromise on. It's not because I just need to get my way because I'm a diva. It's because I can see how this will benefit everybody. So just, give me a little room to show you, right? So kind of standing your ground. Nine of Swords does indicate some anxiety coming through, which doesn't surprise me with Capricorn, with Gemini season being the majority of June. It does come with that mutable air energy that just tends to bring anxiety to everyone universally, but it is indicating that there are, there could be just like a lot of, because this is showing collaboration and having to stand in confidence and showing new sides of yourself and cooperating with others. So there may just be like a lot of moving parts and a lot of people involved in things that have you kind of in your, nerves a little bit, concern for, was it right to stand up for myself, to not compromise on that one thing? Is that okay? Or am I being judged? Was I wrong? So there is a little bit of, it feels like a push and pull, like you are standing in your confidence, but there might be a little bit of that, like being a fake it till you make it. Like, am I really this Queen of Pentacles? Should I have done that? Should I be this confident? Underneath, like when you're in your private territory, in your inner world. I don't think it's showing on the outside, but there could be some imposter syndrome around embodying that Queen of Pentacles. But it's natural for that Gemini season energy, so that will pass. Don't worry about it. And then 10 of Cups. Everything's going to work out great. Everything you will, like I've already sensed and we've talked about up on this top row, this first batch of like unearthing what your story of June is like, you're going to surprise yourself. You're going to surprise everybody. It is right for you to stand in your confidence. You will overcome some anxiety about doing so. And because things are going to work out harmoniously, you are going to bring such beauty and an ability to hold space for certain things to really come together harmoniously in like a compositional way, in just really beautifully kind of executed capacity that will end up, where you'll end up in June is like, it is all going to work out beautifully. You'll see, they'll see. And you will just, you're blossoming, I think, this month. But there is an element of fake it till you make it. So just, do so. Trust your inner sense. Trust that confidence and passion coming through. Trust a sense of strength and responsibility coming through. You got it. Look at that. Strength. I didn't even show that I was sort of shuffling in the background, but I was. And strength. And this feels unlike the strength card in the tarot, where there can be some sort of psychological work there. This is showing how strong you're growing, almost like you are growing into a plant that has a lot, strong stems, strong fruiting, strong leaves. Like you are more and more, as you go through June, more and more of this strength gets colored in. And so it's sort of like starting June, you're starting to color in some strength you're needing to pull out of yourself. And by the end of June, it's all going to be colored in. And you're just going to be standing in the confidence of your strength. Really cool. Okay, let's get one more Oracle card. Garnet and Lady's Mantle. And this has womb healing, sexual power, and sovereignty. This to me is like the sacral chakra energy. It's like trusting your sensitivity, which kind of plugs into that Nine of Swords in a way. I mean, they aren't the same energy, but they, to show up in the same reading, complement each other in a way. That there is, just indicating that there is some sensitivity that you are feeling this month as you're trying to step into your strength and confidence. But like trusting your body, really trusting the flow of what's coming through your body, what your instincts are, what your gut is telling you, what your intuition is telling you. Part of you really moving away from the faking it till you make it to the actually made it, standing in this Queen of Pentacles energy, is staying plugged into your sensitivity, staying plugged into your feelings, into your gut, into your body responses, and that really helping to be a very integral part of your what's giving you direction and what's giving you passion, and just like a new level of trust in your body and its communication to you coming through. Like, you may feel as if some of this sensitivity and body information as you start June is like a lot to handle. It's giving you anxiety, but as you end June, you're recognizing and respecting and honoring this aspect of you and really feeling a new kind of partnership and respect with listening to your body. And that giving you, I love that word sovereignty, that giving you a new sense of self-sovereignty in life. That you can trust yourself, that you are strong, and that your sensitivity is a beautiful guide and does steer you well. Very cool. Okay, to end, we are just going to get a divine feather message pertaining to your month, just like a really something beautiful Spirit wants to bring through, a message for you to end things. And I'm feeling this card kind of poking out. Pheasant, the time is ripe for creation and connection. Focus your attention in these areas. So yeah, and coming out on top of this Garnet and Lady's Mantle, there does feel like there's some kind of creativity involved in all of this. Needing to be able to connect well, communicate well, and some kind of creation coming from it all, and creative energy coming and flowing through you, especially with that sacral energy coming up in this Garnet and Lady's Mantle. It is a very body creation energy. So just stay tapped into that. And timing is ripe for what is coming through here. So that's beautiful. Something productive actually, coming from it all. All right, I hope this resonated. I am excited for your June. I think it will be beautiful despite, there are these things of like a little bit of pressure, a little bit of anxiety, but the benefits are outweighing this like by 100, right? It's like, this is such a cool month. The things that you're going to end the month feeling and being and having established in yourself and in the world are like huge. So minor prices to pay for that kind of progress or just flourishing coming through here. All right. If this resonated, I always appreciate support with likes, shares, subscribes. Always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments as well. And wishing you guys a beautiful month ahead. See you in future readings. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your June 2024 reading. You guys picked the owl with the green calcite. So in combination, so we're like an overarching theme being felt here. This owl is definitely giving the vibes of a lot of wisdom, a lot of trusting of your intuition, as well as an ability. This was the only night animal that came out in the different June piles. So your pile specifically is indicating that you may have more space in June to sort of observe life, to sort of take life in, to step back and really kind of get some downloads, and also just like being able to step into a certain confidence that I think people will be keying into. You may be sort of like in this role of the wise guide this month, where people seem to be drawn to a certain wisdom and strength that you have and coming to you for advice here and there. I don't know that you make yourself completely accessible all the time, but I do feel people at least wanting to approach you, and some of them actually approaching you for sort of the wisdom that you have to give in life. But definitely some wisdom coming through and intuition coming through for you to, it's sort of like, I don't know that June will be the month that you take a ton of action on things, but it's like things are, I don't know if there's been like puzzle pieces you've been trying to work out in your life, or things starting to happen that you're like, how do I fit this and work this and prioritize that and And it's like, this is the month where it's like starting to make sense in your head and in your heart. Things are just like coming into alignment because you're being given some space to see the big picture of things. And then that means that come July, we'll see whatever comes in your July reading. But my feeling is that like this is the month of like strategizing and getting the big picture and getting the downloads and having a certain wisdom kind of come into you, and then being able to do more with that in subsequent months. That being said, this green calcite is adding a lot of fresh energy to me. Like that's what it feels like, is whatever you're puzzling together or stepping back to take in a view and like tap into intuition and wisdom, it is around like fresh things. There is a sense of like new things that you're puzzling together, new objectives, new visions. There's something fresh going on here. Okay, so I'm going to put your rock up, or your stone up there. So let's get a few more oracle cards to get a little further into the story of what is going on with all of this. That one felt like it wanted to come out, the shaman. Yes, another very mystical. There is like, you are getting like downloads, you're visiting other realms, you are deeply in communication with your body and with the spirit realm, and maybe even ancestors. It's a very spiritual energy coming through for your June. So definitely pay attention to downloads. Definitely be proactive about giving yourself space to kind of take in the big picture of things, to notice some shadow work that's starting to become more clear and easy for you to engage and deal with. But I can't help but feel like you are making certain sort of spiritual connections with things that are very helpful. More than the shadow work, it feels like, making, like reaching into, being proactive about reaching into spiritual things, the spirit world, spiritual information, and being given downloads and tools and synchronicities and magical openings. And it's almost like I feel like you guys are somehow in your waking life in June able to like function out of like the theta and alpha brainwave frequencies, where it's like co-creation with the universe just starts to make sense. The things you're wanting to manifest start to make sense. Believing in a little bit of magic and mystical and ethereal assistance starts to make sense and feel present in your life. Yeah, you guys are definitely the group this season that is having these very mystical experiences and assistance and deep wisdom because of that coming through you and into your life. So very cool. Okay, let's get a goddess card for you guys to see what goddess wants to kind of be a guide for you in June, which might say something about the tone of your June as well. Guinevere, true love. The romantic strings in your heart have propelled the universe to deliver great love to you. And in these, because these are, collective readings, group readings, I do tend to sometimes broaden interpretation of things. So this doesn't have to be romantic stirrings about a person, a spouse type thing, or a romance with another. These romantic stirrings can be about life in general. Feeling this like a new sense of reverence for life, a new sense of like connected to the beauty of life and the fragility, how beautiful life is because of how fragile and ephemeral it is. And we do have this very spiritual stuff going on. So I feel like some of the wisdom that is starting to really sink in and feel accessible to you is how precious and fleeting and just ephemeral life is. And so really being present to life and really being present to any beauty you can find in any moment, and finding a sense of it's not even, for a second I almost said like childlike wonder and awe, but it's not. This is very like elder type energy coming through. I don't know, there may be things you've experienced in the month or two leading up to June that just make you understand how much more you need to be present to the moment, and present to what's beautiful in you and beautiful in life and beautiful in others, and sort of like shift of priorities, seeing the bigger picture in a way where it's like all these little things that used to bother me or trip me up or put weight on my shoulders, like in the bigger scheme of things, like it's so unimportant. And it's just like this, I don't know, it's like this reorientation around your priorities in life in order to be able to experience life in a more romantic, tender way. And something about that freshening up your sense of life too. Okay, let's get a Moonology card, sort of a mood around your month. Okay. That one feels like it wants to come out. Work through your fears, new moon in Scorpio. Oh, that's interesting. So the first pile was Scorpio. If you do want to listen to pile 1, there may be something for you there as well. But this does tap into what I was sensing, that like, I don't know that June is the month where you experience things that make you recognize and wake you up to a shift in priorities. I kind of feel like some things have already been going on as you step into June. But in June, as you step back and as you open up to more spiritual connection, assistance, information, I think it's giving you the strength. Like the reprioritization that I'm feeling coming through here, I think is like going to take strength to confront, like, actually, like I've felt this for a month or 2 or even 6 months, whatever it is for you, or maybe even just a week, of like this thing that I give so much time and energy to, or these 3 things or whatever it is, suddenly just don't feel important. But you know, we get ingrained in certain patternings and certain things that just become habitual and normalized in life. But June, you start to really have those come to Jesus moments of like, these things I'm feeling, this reprioritization of what's important in my life, I need to actually do something about that this month. So this will be the month where you are able to kind of confront certain things that maybe need to take back seats, and shut down certain avenues of where you expend energy in order to really do that work of reprioritizing things to make life more special, to really honor what you're starting to feel is beautiful about life. So this adding that kind of passion and intensity to be able to go in and actually shift some things that have been hard to do, because we get into our ruts and our patterns and our fear of change, you know. Sometimes the devil we know is easier to deal with than the devil we don't know, but this is the month where you're like, well, I'm done with that though. I've felt this way for a while, and it's time to make some real shifts and to draw some hard lines and make some hard changes. So really powerful what's coming through, really powerful. But I do understand why you might be a little detached from like, what Gemini season normally brings with like a ton of connection. This is like a ton of connection more with like your priorities and spiritual help in that. Okay, I want to get some astrology dice insight into the categories. So we're going to see which 2 categories are kind of mainly featured this month for you. Which 2 categories of life are mainly featured through astrology. So we've got the 9th house, which doesn't shock me with the owl. I would definitely, if I were to associate the owl with one of the houses, it would be the 9th house. This is about looking at the big picture of your life. What is the vision of your life? What are your driving philosophies? What's your North Star? What is guiding your life? You're really coming to terms with this in a fresh new way. Different fresh philosophies and visions are coming through, and it is going to end up reorienting things. And then the 4th house, and I love that with the tenderness that's coming through. The changes you are making are foundational, and they will create better nourishment, deeper, more soulful connection to life for you. Wow, I don't even know what to say. Like, this group is so, I'm thinking going into June with like all this Gemini energy, it's going to be kind of fun and whimsical and like a lot of movement, but like you guys are getting in there with some deep, changes coming through. Okay, we're just going to get even deeper here. We're going to go a level deeper with cards on this bottom row. We're going to do some tarot and a couple more oracle cards just to flesh the story out more. Okay. This card wants to come out. King of Pentacles. Filling this card too. Queen of Cups. And let's get one more card. And Knight of Swords. It's very interesting. All court cards coming up here. I am picking up with this King of Pentacles, this real pragmatism. It's sort of interesting because there's been such deep connection to spiritual wisdom up in the top row of cards that we've done. But then the King of Pentacles coming through and indicating that some of your inherent wisdom that you're tapping into in June has to do with your understanding of pragmatism and a certain strength you have in that. Really knowing how to hold life in a very practical, productive way, and a certain kind of like authority in that. And I'm feeling with this card, this King of Pentacles, that is the thing where I'm feeling like is like a part of you that seems to be shining a bit this season, that is attracting others kind of wanting your advice when they dare approach the king, right? Like kings aren't always super approachable, but some people will have the confidence to approach this part of you that is very, in a sense, like having a sense of glow this month. I do think there are some people that are going to seek out your wisdom and advice and guidance in very practical, pragmatic things, logistical things even. And then the Queen of Cups is where I feel like you are feeling yourself. It's funny because sometimes what people are attracted to us and seeing in us in a moment isn't always the thing we feel like we're seeing in ourselves in a moment. So I feel like the outside world is kind of seeing this wise pragmatism that you have, but inside of yourself you're feeling this new connection to how to really nourish your life and take control of cultivating a more nourished, heart-centered, deep, soulful aspect of you and life. And then we've got the Knight of Swords here, which is sort of interesting. This is not an energy I've picked up on yet in the reading, so I need to feel this for a second. Everything here, she's holding like a calligraphy type pen. Her dress is made up of writing, of like newspaper or book. And then sometimes feathers could also be used to scribe things, but also the movement of the mind, the air. So this is picking up on that Gemini energy that's prevalent in this month. I get the sense this is like advice coming through for you. That the ideas you're coming into, messages you're receiving, things you may read, things that you're capable of writing in terms of like writing your thoughts down, not necessarily writing for the public, but like writing thoughts down, things that you'll read, ideas and flow of information coming to you that does still feel ethereal. It's like, this is, I feel like spirit stepping in, of saying like, there's a lot of information in you, around you, coming your way, a lot of messages. Be sure to write these things down. Because there's a lot coming at you, a lot of wisdom, a lot of information, a lot of downloads, a lot of messages. Be sure to write them down, because they will be important to like revisit, to to kind of give some dedicated energy to. Especially if like, yeah, information and messages and thoughts are moving quickly. Yeah, this feels like some wisdom from Spirit coming through of like guiding you to write things down, to take note of things, to bookmark things, to make sure you're organizing the information coming through. Yeah, okay. So this is what other people are seeing, the King of Pentacles. This is what you're cultivating about yourself, is the Queen of Cups. And this is what Spirit is asking you to engage with. It's asking you to take on a little bit of a Knight of Swords role in terms of documenting, bookmarking, writing things down as they happen. Okay, let's get a couple more Oracle cards. And then we'll do a Divine Feather message after that to end. I'm feeling this one, Courage. This is the Borage, which I'm not familiar with that plant, but Courage in general. I mean, this definitely plugs into that Scorpio new moon mood coming through, where it is going to be that month to make some hard calls, to make some tough calls, but ones that you know, like you have the courage. This is indicating like you have all the courage, like that swell of courage you've needed to actually make the changes you've been feeling for some time comes for you this month. You will feel the courage. You will feel your heart turn on and take control of matters, to reprioritize and rearrange life to match what it is, the depth and nourishment that you're seeking. The connection to making your life feel more stirring and tender and romantic in a sense. Okay, and then let's get an Earth Alchemy card too. That one wanted to fly out. Ethiopian Opal. And it says, fertile ground, Pegasus, unicorn energy, rainbow child. But that fertile ground is mostly what I'm plugging into, and also Pegasus, that taking flight in things. And we have that feather in the Knight of Swords too. It's definitely like this month is reprioritizing, reorganizing and reprioritizing life to make it feel more fertile. You are going to be creating fertile ground this season, or at least the wisdom to know how to do so and to cut certain cords or put things more in the background that are needing to be in order to start to cultivate these new stirrings, these new North Stars, these new priorities. Yeah, so all the moves you make this season are really going to help to cultivate and create, more fertile ground in your life. So really cool. Okay, to end, we are just going to get a message from Spirit, from the Divine Feather Messenger, just something really positive, uplifting it wants to bring to you. And this one wanted to fall out. Falcon. Use your keen perception and skill in making decisions. Do not delay. Yep. It is going to be a month of really making some hard decisions and having the courage to do so, to realign your priorities, reorient certain things in life, and start steering it towards something that feels more nourishing to you. So wow, I don't know, that was very unexpected reading for June. Not what I was sensing June would feel like for anyone, but some powerful stuff coming for you guys. Really, really cool. Okay, if this resonated, I always appreciate support with likes, shares, subscribes. Always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments as well. But just thank you for being here. I love reading, so thank you for allowing me to do so. And I hope to see you guys in future readings. Have an amazing June. Hello, my beautiful pile 3. You guys are my lion pile, and you picked this clear crystal quartz as well with your lion. So I'm not gonna lie, these June readings have been no joke. I was not expecting that. There seems to be some really powerful energy going on in June, and I from the get-go sense that with lion and clear quartz for you guys. I sense you stepping into, with the lion, really stepping into your courage and stepping into more of a leadership sense of command of something in your life. Paired with the clear crystal quartz, like being very clear and certain about this kind of role you're stepping into, this kind of, I should say, archetype that you're stepping into. We'll see a little bit after we've done a few oracle cards, we'll see through some astrology dice what this might be directed toward. There's so many ways in which we can step into kind of being in command and being sort of a leader of things. It could be in any category of life, but it does feel like you're stepping into your strength, you're ready for it, you're strong, you're very crystal clear. More than anything, with that clear crystal quartz, there's such a clarity that is enticing, that is allowing you to kind of take on this glow of a commander. People look for that certainty. They look for that confidence and that clarity and that certainty. And it is just oozing out of you, just crystal clear and strong and courageous and commanding. You're just in it. You're just like step into June, just like in your, I don't know. It's not even an aggressive lion to me. It's just confident and strong, right? That's what this feels like. Okay, let's get a few oracle cards to add to this story, kind of build out a story of what's going on here. Okay, we're gonna do the Wild Unknown Archetype cards. That one kind of wanted to come out. The Desert, fascinating. The desert can absolutely be something that tests our strength of will, tests our perseverance, tests our ability to be, directly under the spotlight, under the sun, and having to hold that almost singularly without a lot of help, right? So that does indicate there's something that you're up to the challenge in, where it's like there's no other clear leader. There's no other thing, person, idea that can step in and hold the kind of strength and command that you can. There's no competition is what it feels like. But it does indicate that whatever you're stepping into as this kind of commanding presence is it makes you a little vulnerable. You are in a slightly vulnerable position with that. And it will test your fortitude and persistence and perseverance. But I don't feel any fear in the lion or any doubt in the lion here. So it's you've got this, absolutely. But yes, at the same time, this is a month that is going to ask you to shoulder a lot and persevere. But you are the thing. You are the thing that holds the vision, the direction, the vision, the inspiration, the motivation, the center of things. You hold the center. And it's hot, that center is hot. But yeah, again, I'm just sensing that you're just so stand out clear and stand out strong that it's sort of you get it, you know what you're stepping into, you understand what it means to be stepping into it, and you're yeah, I got it though. It's fine. I got it. I'm built for this. Wow, okay. Let's get a goddess card for you now to show what goddess wants to sort of be a guide for you this month, and due to that, what it might say about your month. Wow, Isis, past life. This situation involves your past life memories. So, interesting. You stepping into kind of this commander role may be bringing up qualities and strength within you that you don't know where this came from. It's like, I wasn't trained to do this, but I know how to do it. Why? And this is indicating, it's like you have, if you're someone that believes in past lives or reincarnation, this could point to that you have been like a general or a leader in very big capacity in multiple past lives. You know how to do this because you've been a leader in other lifetimes. And so that's why it may not make sense to you that you know how to do what you're doing and how to hold the sender and how to hold the command, but you've had plenty of lifetimes of experience in that. And so it's just inherently coming up and out of you. Anytime we have like a pressure put on us, we reach things in us that we didn't know were there. And I feel like that's happening. This is not in terms of leadership necessarily, but this came up for another pile too. So there is something coming through in June that I think people are reaching new aspects of themselves that they hadn't before. And for you, this is around leadership and command for sure. If you don't believe in reincarnation, another interpretation of this could be that like maybe your ancestry has a lot of leaders in it, and so there's something sort of in your shared ancestral wisdom coming through that is kind of getting pulled out of you this month. I wasn't sure, as I was talking about this quality of you that's stepping forward in June, whether it's something you knew about yourself and have experienced, or if it was something new coming through. And I'm still not certain that it's new, but I am certain that the level of command you're stepping into is new because of this past life card. It does indicate that you're surprising yourself, that the level of command and clarity in that command you're able to take on and stand in is a little shocking to you. And it's because, there's either some ancestral information there, past ancestral traits, or some literal past life experience with this. But definitely reaching minimally a new level of this, if not this as a new archetype within you you're discovering. Whatever makes sense to you. Okay, let's get a Moonology card kind of showing general sense of mood for you in June. I know mood can fluctuate, but sometimes we can look back at a month and be like, yeah, I was really grouchy that month, or I was generally pretty happy that month. Doesn't have to be as simplistic as that. It hasn't really been so in the other piles, but let's just see what comes through from the Moonology for you in June. Ooh, I love this. Beautiful, beautiful addition to what's going on here. We've got Taurus, new moon, prosperity lies ahead. This is adding a certain sense of like tapping into confidence and structure and stability in your sense of voice, your sense of self-worth, and knowing what you're worth. And so how to create more prosperous, like something about the leadership being pulled out of you could have to do with like how to make things, give things shape, give things form and function, give things value. And something about you really understanding. And I can't help but notice the horns on the bull. And then Isis, I know it's not horns, but there's just this, I don't know, shape that's mimicked here. Where it's just, I don't know, it's like partially some spiritual downloads coming through to you, but partially this symbol feeling like an adornment, an internal adornment you're born with, of like, it's almost like a Viking headdress, right? Of like, I am fierce, I am courageous, I come from some stock that is hardy, that is fearsome, really. Yeah, there's a certain like adornment that just like, but that you're born with. It's not one you put on. It's like an adornment that just is in your aura, that it's like, I am fierce, right? I am not to be messed with here. So I don't know, depending, because it is a collective reading, a group reading. So like some of you may be like, I feel that about myself. And some of you may be like, what? Where's that going to come from? And this will surprise you more, because it does feel like, the degree of what's coming out here, whether you've experienced this or not, is amplified. But I do wonder if some of you haven't experienced this side of yourself before and are like, whoa, I didn't know I had horns. Look at those. Crazy, But I think some of you might be like, oh, I know I have horns. I know I'm fearsome when I need to be. But yeah, really being able to kind of own that natural adornment in you, that natural auric quality of like, when I need to turn it on, when I need to be strong and fierce and commanding, no problem. I got it. I have the horns to do this. Okay, let's now do some astrology dice. As I mentioned a little earlier, I am curious what this is all showing up around. So we're going to look at 2 focal categories of life that June will really kind of bring up for you. So we've got 10th house, which doesn't shock me at all. I would have been surprised not to see it actually. So career, authority, really taking on that authority, really taking on being the person that holds the responsibility, the executive, the CEO. It is like CEO energy. You're kind of stepping into CEO mode of something. But then we also have the 11th house, which is not just like CEO over a corporation and being the head of something. The 11th house indicates being very much so engaged with collaborative energy, with groups, with the people versus the power. So it does indicate it's almost opposite energy to the lion, which is very 5th housey, like standing in the center of it all. But this is indicating you're not forgetting that when you are leading people, if you're not taking into consideration the group and humanity and the future and the gifts other people have to offer and what other people want to contribute and, the bigger vision of the group, you lose the support of the group. But this is indicating you're very much so plugged into it. You're very much so engaged in listening and pulling forward the unique strengths of others, really churning up some collaborative energy, really being able to hold the group of things in order to sort of be the leader in making group creativity do something and go somewhere and elevate things and change things and innovate, right? There's a very innovative capacity when you listen to the group and you honor the group. So very, very wise and cool. And that could be where your clarity is coming from, is this deep knowledge suddenly arising in you of like really being plugged into and knowing that if I don't have the group, I don't have the position. And so just like a lot of wisdom coming through there. Okay, we are going to now do some tarot and then a couple other oracle cards as well to just continue to unfold the story coming through here for your June. I'm filling this card. We've got 7 of Wands. Interesting. Oops. We'll take the top card, 2 of Cups. That one feels unexpected, but I'll fill into that in just a minute. And then let's get one more. And 9 of Cups. Okay. Nine of Cups and 2 of Cups next to each other does make sense. I know I didn't know what to do with 2 of Cups for a minute, but now that 9 of Cups came out, that makes sense. That like this position you're stepping into, this deeper strength and clarity you're stepping into as like commanding energy, is going to feel exactly right to you. You're going to feel incredibly aligned with this, fulfilled by it, and something about it will sort of like center you in a greater fulfillment. Like your dreams have been answered, your wishes have been answered, and that's part of why you're really holding this command with such clarity and in a standout way that other people really are feeling. It feels like admiring and allowing, is because there's sort of this sense of inherent fulfillment by being able to step into this position, that you don't feel this overly emphasized need to perform. You're coming from a centering that's already fulfilled, and so you're not trying, you're not concerned about performance, you're not putting on a show, right? You're coming from a fulfilled place, and so there's no weirdness and pathologies around performance going on. It's just natural, it's easy, it feels aligned, it feels right. It's coming from somewhere so much deeper than you're like aware that you could tap into. And then 7 of Wands here. I'm just reading the image, of this, where there is some brute strength here. And there's like a double-edged sword with that, where it's like, trust yourself, trust that you're stronger than you realized you were, which we've already tapped into. On some level, this is going to surprise you how strong you are. But on the other hand, don't overplay that strength. Don't, like sometimes when you're so weighted in your strength and your command, you can kind of become dominating. To me, this is sort of a warning coming up of like, maybe that 11th house is guidance rather than what's naturally happening, of like, you need to stay plugged into the group. You need to really be aware of the strengths of others, of what others can contribute, what the group sentiment is. Don't overplay your strength. I think it's actually a little bit of a warning coming through. But at the same time, the 11 showing up is saying you have the capacity to do this. You know this on some level. Just a reminder. Don't overplay your strength here. Really notice what the group sentiment is. Really pay attention to that atmosphere of the group. What's going on, taking the temperature constantly of the group, respecting the group. don't overplay your strength. You've got this though. Just a little, like, I think you've got this. I think it's going to be fine. Just a little reminder that with strength comes responsibility. And if you aren't really paying attention to what that responsibility is, which in this case is the group, it can get a little domineering. Okay, moving on. But you've got it. Don't just keep that in the back of your mind and you'll be good. Okay, and a couple more oracle cards. This one just popped right out. Invigorate, Juniper, yes. And that's part of your command and leadership that's coming through, is this ability to invigorate things. An ability to add inspiration, to make the group excited, to inspire others to step up to the plate and contribute what they have to contribute to make things happen. So whatever this connects to for you in terms of like position or career and what you're specifically leading, which will be different for each of you, the thing that you're actually leading, whatever that is, you can really infuse some invigoration around this to get people excited and on board and aligned with your vision, aligned with your leadership. You can bring a lot of invigorating energy to whatever you're leading and whatever kind of authority you're wielding. Okay, last oracle card, and then we'll do a divine feather message to end. We've got Earth Alchemy here. The diamond ray, diamond light body, high frequency activations, planetary grid work. Yeah, something new. I don't know if some of the astrology, what's going on with planets, or personal transits in your chart, whatever is taking place, there's an activation happening, and that's why this is turning on, at least in a new way for you, if not altogether for you. This command quality and archetype is something's being activated. I don't know if it's like, a specific transit, or if the people drawn to this reading have things happening in their personal progressions or transits aligning with certain things in their chart, or the earth coming into a new phase and experiencing certain energies around its grid work that activates something in you, whatever it is, but something is being activated. And so this does feel like it's been dormant. It hasn't been tapped yet. Minimally to the level you're going to step into, if not altogether here. Wow. Man, I don't know what's going on in June. I need to look a little more intensely at the astrology of it all, because these readings have been so powerful. Okay, let's end this with a divine feather message, just a beautiful message from Spirit to leave you on something it wants to, a positive thing it wants to share with you about June. And we have the Finch, new opportunities and choices are opening to you now, claim them. And I feel like those opportunities have to do with leadership and command. So really cool. All right, what a June for you guys. Really awakening your inner lion, your inner commander, your inner authority. And in a big way with the 11th house, like really taking on the center for a specific focus and for a group. So that's no small feat, but you're up to it. And it's opening some kind of opportunity to you now. So just step up to the plate with it. Very cool. Accept it, own it. Just stay aware of the group too as you do so. Very cool. All right, this is where I'm going to leave you guys. If this resonated, I always appreciate support with likes, shares, subscribes. Always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments as well, but just being here is supportive, so thank you for letting me read for you. I really enjoy it. And wishing you an amazing, powerful, wow, big June. So get to it. All right, see you guys in future readings. Hello, beautiful pile 4. You guys are my swan pile, and I think I said this was citrine in the intro, but it's actually carnelian. I don't know why I said citrine. Anyway, so looking at this combination of swan and carnelian is an interesting combo. Like the swan brings forward that feeling of a sense of sort of elegance and beauty and an ability to see yourself in a new light with more, elegance and self-love and self-acceptance, and just kind of like blossoming into this more inner and sometimes outer beautiful version of yourself, like really just being able to see yourself in just like a more beautiful light. The carnelian adds a little bit of heat to this. Whereas usually I would feel a little bit of a floaty, peaceful energy here. This carnelian is adding like a little bit of pizzazz to it all. So some of that beauty, some of that glow up, it kind of feels like that you're coming into could be turning on this ability to see certain like even feisty traits in you in a more beautiful light, really being able to own certain sides of you that are a little more, not quite flamboyant, I don't think I would go that far, but a little feistier, a little jazzier, a little fun and exciting, in a way that, like, being able to view these aspects of you in a way that has like a softer edge. I don't know if there's certain things that are actually really positive about you that you wished weren't your traits, like wanting to be more genteel or something, or more demure or more feminine or whatever it is, more something, because of, and associating certain traits you have as like not quite fitting the mold of who you want to be or who you see yourself as. But this month, like, kind of starting to really own these traits and seeing them in a different light, seeing them as beautiful, seeing them as elegant, being able to, and as you do so, like as you like honor certain aspects of yourself that are a little bit more exciting or flirtatious or jazzy or funky, whatever, finding new ways to use these and really being able to tap into them and more eloquently express these things. And so seeing like that all along, that if you just own these things, you could make them more, direct them in ways and really develop them in ways that give you a certain refinement that you maybe previously associated that these things were making you less refined, right? Maybe that's how I should put it, as like certain traits you thought made you less refined, but you craved to be more refined, so you sort of put those in the background, these natural things in you in the background. But like this month you're starting to be like, I just need to own who I am. I'm sick of like putting parts of myself down. Maybe I will never be that refined person, but like I just need to be who I am. But the thing that's going to surprise you is like the minute you start owning certain aspects of yourself you thought weren't refined, there's always a way to refine that trait, to learn more about it, to understand a certain trait and how to use it to your advantage and how to use it in a beautiful way and how to use it to your advantage and use it to amplify beauty in some way. And it's like suddenly it's like everything comes together and you're like, oh, it wasn't about disowning aspects of myself. It was about developing aspects and cultivating these natural things in me to be beautiful, to utilize them and honor them. And when I do, they naturally become more refined, and I then become more refined. And so just overall, you're just seeing yourself in new light with more beauty and honoring aspects that are a little more flashy or exciting about you, that for some reason you got a weird message at some point that weren't aligned with who you thought you wanted to be or should be or whatever. So it is really kind of like, that ugly duckling into a swan story, where it's like it's never been about disowning part of yourself, but really honoring all of you. And in that, you inherently just become more beautiful in your own eyes and more beautiful in the world, because you're just honoring who you are, and that finds a way to become something special and something beautiful and something elegant and eloquent. Okay, let's move on to get a few more oracle cards about your June to add on to what we've already seen. So let's look at the Wild Unknown Archetype deck. And this one wants to come out the mirror. Look at that. Like, there is this reflection happening. I don't know if people in the world, people around you, are reflecting things to you that you've never been able to see as beautiful and helping to reflect how beautiful these things are. But I do see your external world, whether it's circumstances or people, really playing a beautiful part in helping to reflect to you how beautiful aspects of you are that you've maybe disowned. That really helping you to incorporate these things and develop them and own them and let them shine, right? So really notice what people are mirroring to you, what certain circumstances in life are pulling out of you that is forcing you to kind of rely on certain things about yourself that you've not always loved. But definitely something coming through here of really being able to see yourself with so much more beauty, and really owning all of who you are in a much, much more comprehensive and deep and special way. Super cool. Okay, let's get a goddess for you guys. What goddess wants to be a guide for you in June, which might say something about the energy of June for you. Let's see, I feel like that bottom one was the one that really was flipping. Ooh, Mother Mary, expect a miracle. Have faith that your prayers have been heard and are being answered. So no matter the circumstances or the people that come into your life that start mirroring things to you, it's because deep down you've been craving this. You've felt like you've needed maybe a miracle to love aspects of who you are, or to even see aspects of you that have long been hidden away. But things, people, and circumstances are coming in miraculous ways this month to help mirror these things to you, help you see these things about yourself. And not just see them, not just witness things about yourself that you've shoved down or disowned, but to see them in beautiful, beautiful, positive, amazing ways. And it will feel miraculous to you. It will feel like life is conspiring to make you understand how special and beautiful you are. So cool. Wow, what a message coming through. That's really, just, I don't know. I'm really happy for you guys. I'm sad that they're, you know, I mean, everyone has aspects of themselves they can work on loving more, right? But something really special around that is happening for you guys. And it's, I don't know, it's just like divinely orchestrated too. And time, there's something about like ready, like it's time and you're ready. I think you're already waking up to this. I think it's already kind of coming into your consciousness is what I'm feeling suddenly. And because it's coming into your consciousness that you need to love certain aspects of yourself more or see them or discover them better because they've been, you know, repressed or stuffed down for some time. The external world is matching this new consciousness you're already tapping into, that like you need to be able to see these things or see things in you that just feel like they're trying to burst out of you, right? Very cool. Okay, let's get a Moonology card. This top one really wanted to flip out, but I wasn't done speaking. But I want to preface before I even pull it, is the Moonology here is intended to show a little bit around the mood for you in June. What will the mood feel like to you in June? Yeah, it's time to take action. New moon in Aries. Yeah, a lot of like boldness, a lot of confidence starting to come through. That's part of that consciousness that's arising in you. You're starting to find that like a new connection. Like Aries can really help us connect to our core, our authenticity, and our passion. And I think there's new passions stirring. Maybe what that part of what that carnelian energy is like you tapping into your core and your passion really strongly in June. And that helping you to really see and get aligned with and honor and embrace your authenticity, your sense of personhood, your sense of self, and what lights you up, what gives you motivation, and loving it, feeling confident in it suddenly. So I feel like partially like a certain consciousness is developing in you around really plugging into your authenticity, because you're seeking some passion in life. And then the world, the outer world, responding to mirror to you how beautiful this is and how refined and elegant and amazing your authenticity actually is, how it's seen by others in such a beautiful way. And you need to see that for yourself through others' eyes. And it's just, yeah, it's like everything's conspiring with that expect a miracle. It's like everything's being divinely orchestrated to make this all come together. The same moment you're feeling a certain consciousness about honoring your authenticity, the outer world's conspiring to help reinforce that and mirror to you how amazing and beautiful it is. Your authenticity is gorgeous, is elegant, is eloquent. You're gonna see your authenticity through totally new eyes. Yeah, it's really, really special. Okay, let's roll some astrology dice to see the two main categories of life that are going to be kind of brought to the forefront in June and how these might play off of the cards we've pulled. I love seeing number one, the first house, which is very Aries-esque. It's all about your sense of self, your agenda, your authenticity, your core, your passion, your personality. You're really starting to see yourself in a new way, find new confidence, find a certain love for who you are and passion rising. And something about this is going to is going to tap into and connect to your position in the world too, which doesn't surprise me. I think when we see ourselves more confidently, we have more confidence to, stand out in the world and kind of take up our space, take up our position with more strength, honor our sense of authority in life, honor our aspirations, honor our deserving of recognition, of rewards, whatever, of being seen in the world for who we are and how beautiful we are. So that's a direct also reflection. The way the world is respecting you and the positions you're finding yourself in are a direct reflection of you coming into more confidence and alignment with your authenticity and how beautiful and amazing and elegant it all is. So cool. I love this. Man, you guys, every single June reading has been crazy powerful. Really, really powerful. So don't know what to say about that. It was a little unexpected to me, to be honest. Okay, let's do some tarot cards and then a few more oracle cards to just flesh out even further the story, kind of build upon the story we're already uncovering about June for you guys. That one's gonna flip. We've got the Magician. Yes. Love it. Okay. The Magician, the Hermit. You are super duper trusting yourself. You know what you want. You know who you are, and that's allowing you to manifest in life. To be clear about, the more clear about who you are, the more clear you become about what lights you up and what you're passionate about. And then the more clear you are about what you're passionate about, the more clear you are about what you want in life. And when you're clear about what you want in life, manifestation happens. And that is what is happening. You are really trusting in who you are, loving who you are, honoring who you are, and magic ensues. So cool. Okay, one more tarot card. Feeling that one. And the Empress. Yes, fertility, creativity, life just feeling full of possibility, full of flourishing, full of creative potential, manifesting, like your life in general and your sense of self in general could be manifesting in June with just like a more luxurious unfoldment of things, a more deeply connected sense of belief in life and belief in deserving and belief in allowing life to come to you, opening up to receive, right? Opening up to allowing life even to be a little bit more pleasurable and naturally unfolding for you and naturally giving to you. Surprisingly, for so many people, including myself, it can be hard to be receptive. Sometimes there's like communications where we feel like we have to make everything in life happen from our own self-determination and our own efforts and our own forcing of life to happen. And so then sometimes when good things want to come in and be given to us, we don't know how to open up and allow that, right? But something's clicking where both of those things are happening better for you. You're also recognizing how to make life happen better, how to take initiative with all this first house and Aries energy, how to stand in your confidence and declare what you want and go after it, but also recognizing that sometimes life comes to you and knowing how to accept that and allow life to just flourish in ease, so it's like on both sides in terms of what you're able to make happen for yourself and what you're allowing to happen through an attractive energy, through knowing what pleasure is and what brings you pleasure and what you want things also just come to you naturally. And it's that, yeah, that combination. These are all major arcana, by the way, which none of the other piles had. So this is massive. This is a huge pivotal month for you. And these are all such this concoction, Magician, Hermit, Empress is like, it's just pure magic. I don't know what else to say. Like the Hermit in my book is always really knowing who we are in ourselves, our own beat, our own instincts, honoring our own particular instincts, right? Really honoring those and knowing that those are things that can give us a niche in life, that can support us, that gives us our unique flavor, that gives us a unique wisdom, that gives us a unique ability to guide certain things in life and make life orient around your particularness. Magician is all about manifesting. Empress is about life flourishing, creativity, abundance. It's just, I don't know, it's just magic. This is a magical month for you guys, and you're really starting to love yourself. You're finding your passion, you're finding self-determination and ease and attracting things and just life taking off in a certain way because of how much more you're starting to love yourself and honor yourself and see yourself in very different ways. I just love it. I don't know what else to say there. Okay, let's get a last couple oracle cards and then we'll do, to end, a beautiful divine feather message. That one wants to come out. Growth. Yes, life is going to grow for you this month in such huge, different, beautiful, amazing, magical ways. I love it. And when I think of ferns, I do think of the unfurling. Life is unfurling. You are unfurling. Life is unfurling. Everything is becoming very flourishing in your life and in you. So amazing. Okay, last oracle card before the feather message. We have blue kyanite and honeysuckle. Sword of truth, freedom, warrior of light. Stop holding yourself back. You can't make that up, you guys. Yeah, you've just really, really, really needed to see things about you in a new way and to embrace the all of you and to see, and it's all of a sudden coming to mind that the North Node, even though we're not in Aries season, there is this, with Aries in the first house, and there have been threads of that throughout all the readings in ways. It's, I think, quite pronounced for you guys. But this year we have the North Node in Aries, which is all about our personality. It is all about our core, our passion, our sense of self, our sense of direction, the sense of what lights us up and gives us passion. And so the North Node has a lot to do. There's a North and a South Node. They're directly opposite each other, and they move in reverse through the Zodiac, and they'll go through one polar sign, so like Aries and Libra are the polar signs. So one axis of zodiac signs it takes about a year and a half, and then they'll go into a new one. So we're about halfway through the Aries Libra axis, but the North Node versus the South Node is the ending and beginning of a 19-year journey in a certain energy. And so we're working through shadows around this Aries energy of our sense of self, our sense of our core, our sense of our personality, a sense of what lights us up and what gives us passion, and then reigniting and reconnecting with that. And it brings a lot of like magnetism and attraction and new fresh energy there. And something, for whatever reason, in June is like really becoming emphasized around, I think, that North Node in Aries for you guys. And you are doing 19 years worth of shadow work is coming into something pivotal this month in June, of recognizing what you haven't honored about your core authentic sense of self, what you've dissociated from, what you've repressed, what you where you haven't been connected to yourself, and you're like working through those shadows and newly centering. You're really newly getting some reflection coming back to you and new consciousness arising of like how to be more aligned and integral about being connected to who you are, your authenticity, and loving it and seeing it as beautiful, and that giving you so much confidence. And so certain things about this, about not fully owning who you are, and again, we all do that, is helping you to stop holding yourself back in some way. I don't know, you could reflect on the past 18 to 19 years and feel like, are there certain things, maybe especially in career, that I've really held myself back from because I haven't been fully honoring my core sense of self? And what am I understanding about that? What am I seeing? What am I, what have I not seen? And what am I newly seeing? And what is starting to become clear to me? And what am I now recognizing that I didn't recognize as so beautiful about me and about things I wasn't integrating and authentic about in myself? And it's like things are just clicking for you. Things are divinely orchestrating to help you see, to be reflected to you. Within you, it's arising as well. And it's all just coming together. And it's like you're fast forwarding through all this shadow work that everyone universally is doing. And you're like getting it. You're just like things are clicking in for you and moving, and magic is happening, and life is starting to grow, and you're really feeling into yourself. And I love it. I love it. It's so beautiful. Okay, last card. We are going to get a divine feather message for you guys, just to leave you with a really positive message from Spirit about June. Feeling this one. Oops. Well, two are coming out for you guys. That's fine. I feel like you guys deserve it. We've got Ostrich. The choice is clear for you now. Follow the wisdom and truth you feel in your heart. Yes, that's part of like really honoring who you are, is trusting the wisdom of your heart. And the choice is clear for you now. That Aries energy brings a lot of clarity. And so something is becoming very clear for you now. And you're really feeling the truth of your heart because of that. And I don't know, there might be some kind of choice that opens for you to make too. And then we've got Goose. Your dreams and desires are calling you to action. The journey begins today. So it is sort of like a new life journey, starting with really knowing who you are and what you want, and loving who you are and loving what you want. And it just is magic. And yeah, new journey with it all. Huge. I don't know what to say, you guys. That was so powerful. Good luck. I mean, come back after June and tell me what happened. This is crazy energy. I love it. All right, if this resonated, I always appreciate support with likes, shares, subscribes. Always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments as well. And just anyway, regardless of any of that, thank you for being here. That's supportive in itself. And thank you for letting me read for you. I love doing this. So thanks for being here, and have an amazing June. Yeah, take advantage, just love it all. Just love you and love it all. Let it come. All right. See you guys in future readings.